Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to another episode of the Business Exploration. On this show, we are committed to sharing with you practical skills on how you can build resilient businesses. And of course, we endeavor to always bring practical people that sit in different areas that can support your business ideas. Of course, we bring the entrepreneurs, but at the same time, we bring the experts and other support professionals, if you like. We brought here insurance players in the past. We brought industrialists. Today, we are privileged to have a banker in the house. And of course, as usual, we always have business development experts among us. And it's not any different from today. Now, the topic for today, like you saw on that banner, is access to capital. And here we're looking at making access to financing to special groups easier or easy. And in this, I need to put this in context on, about the special groups that we are talking about here. Of course, among the groups that sit within this space are the youth. Of course, we have the women, and then you can then go to the elderly, and then, the disabled people. And the reason why they are in that space is among the things that I'm going to be discussing with the panel of experts that we have in the house today. So without any further ado, I'll introduce the people, the experts, the professionals that we have with us today. I'll begin with Noah. Noah, you're most welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charles. Good evening, viewers. It's a pleasure being with you once again.
Very good. That's Noah Omgisha, is a business development expert from ABI. And then in the house, we have a special guest, Immaculate. You're most welcome to the show. Very good. Now that's Immaculate Ngulumi. Immaculate is from Centenary Bank and is the bank's chief manager, marketing. So he's the right person. I know we've had a number of, especially for you, business people, entrepreneurs, that have been asking, the question, Immaculate, we've always had this question from our viewers about how do we access financing? We are doing this and that, but the issue is affordable financing. How do we get there? How do we prepare ourselves? Now it's good we have you here, and we understand that Centenary Bank has done some good, work with people at the grassroots, or those that we call SMEs, and specifically some of our special groups that we are talking about. Now, I mentioned the issue of special groups that we are looking at. We know that many a time these groups lack the needed collateral that some financial institutions might demand. Of course, the youth and the women, as we know, one of the most accepted collateral is actually land titles, and sometimes we find that most women may not have access to this. So Noah, before going into the discussion for today, we had an interesting discussion last week with John Bosco from Ruchiga Sacco, again talking about issues finance. Yeah. I don't know what aspects touched you most, as a recap for our viewers who may have missed that show in that interaction.
Thank you, Charles. Last week, we were mainly looking at how people in value chains, especially, or other businesses, which, whether they are agriculture related or not, can access financing from, mainly not the very high-end institutions. You find a group of farmers say, let's form a SACCO, or a group of stockists in a trading center who collect this produce, say, let's form a SACCO, but then running it successfully to meet their capital needs becomes a challenge. Even when it has been formed, having it as a going concern for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, for it to exist in perpetuity becomes a challenge. And then we are saying, it's important to the vision and the mission of what you're starting as your vehicle for enabling you to access financing, for example, SACCO, is important. But equally important, you need to have clarity of how you're going to sustain yourselves. For example, if you do not have, say, enough savings from members, do you have a plan of how you're going to partner with wholesale lenders who can avail you the financing at rates you're comfortable with, so that you can then on lend it to your members. Otherwise, you'll have a circle with the list of membership, but which is not giving people money. Just because you focused on starting it, on getting people enrolled, but you did not focus on how you're going to give them the money they need to do business through this circle you formed. So we were trying to highlight that yes, focusing on beginning is important, focusing on who you want to serve is important, but you must, as a financial institution, have enough financial resources available for your members to be able to access it when they need it.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I like the fact, before I bring in Immaculate here, that you know, certain principles have to be respected and followed. It doesn't you know, make it a successful circle just because it's begun by bankers, just because it's begun by auditors or professionals and that kind of thing. That was quite powerful. Yes,
and indeed very, very powerful. The discussion again, we were looking at why they fail. In last week we were saying, yes, how does someone who is supporting or managing a financial institution like a bank fail to manage their own circle? And among the issues you know, that we were discussing, which relate to some of those failures, was that we tend to focus more on how to open doors in the morning and serve customers as they walk in. We focus less on the strategic issues, such as those partnerships. Because if you're not, for example, partnering with ABI, which can give you a line of credit to lend, then even if you open early in the morning, even if you have systems in place for counting money, for balancing you know, deposits and withdrawals, if the money, which is the blood of the institution, is not there, then the institution will not exist. So knowing how to balance your accounts, knowing how to handle customers when they arrive at the bank branch is not enough. You must know who to work with in the sector so that you access the needed financing and have it in time at good rates, so that when people walk in to borrow, then they are able to find you ready with good terms to enable them access it and service it in a manner that sustains their businesses. Yeah.
Very good. Immaculate. Like I said at the beginning, we have quite a number of our entrepreneurs, you know, who keep telling us, you know, we have good business ideas, but the problem is capital. When we say they are banks, they are open. They will again tell you, you know, it is complicated. Yes. One of the reasons, of course, why we're happy to have you here is to uncomplicate, if I may use the word, you know, that kind of relationship. I mean, from where you sit, how do you view the whole aspect, you know, of access to capital? You know, trying to demystify that to a typical SME, because we have many following us, both, you know, up country, but even some within Kampala, or what you'd call, you know, your middle class people, but they call them side hustles. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers. How would we demystify the issue of access to finance for these SMEs, sometimes even sole proprietors? I think Centenary Bank has excelled in the art of, because that is in the art of financing SMEs, because we deliberately and intentionally took out time. We did not, around 2014, we approached ABI because we wanted to put a spotlight on the women. Why? Because we did realize very quickly that when you finance a woman, you finance a village, you finance, first of all, a homestead, you finance a village, ultimately you finance the country, because they will always be putting this money back. So ABI agreed to partner with us. But before we approached them, we carried out a research. By that time, Centenary Bank today has about 2 million customers. But in 2014, we had 1.4 million customers. And of the 1.4 million customers, only 28% were women.
Okay.
And of the and who were saving with the bank. But of the women who were saving, we had only 20 of the, and then we had about 800,000 customers borrowing at that time. But of those, we only had 23% of the total people who borrowed in Centenary Bank as women. So we said, what do we do to this group that is very important? It's a very important constituent yet it seems to be marginalized. So we carried out a research and tried to find out. And of course, the issue of having no collateral, having no education to run businesses, those who wanted, stood out very quickly. So we partnered with ABI. So ABI said, can we develop a product specifically for these women so that we encourage the saving, but more so we encourage they're able to borrow, to get some small loans, either to improve their businesses or startups, but also to be able to have to get the literacy to manage these businesses, like Noah said. Simple things like having a business plan, assessing the market demand. Yes, there is demand, but is there effective demand? That is demand which is coupled with finance to be able to pay for the product that you sell. It's not a matter of seeing Noah has opened up a store and I want to open a store next door. What is the demand in the area? How many people? When? How? When do they? What are the consumption patterns? So Centenary Bank, we undertook that study, and we partnered with ABI. They funded us about close to 40% of that project. We developed the Superwoman Club, which is for all women at all levels who feel that they want to be more financially empowered.
Okay.
So what did we do? We would get one Centenary customer and encourage him to come with about 5 friends, because if Noah is my friend, I think research has showed that we'll probably live in the same neighborhood, have the same friends, do the same things, probably do, even the businesses are normally alike.
Birds of the same feathers.
Exactly, they flock together. So we decided that for every session, training session we would carry out, we would bring 1 customer and 5 non-customers. Put them in a room, have somebody to train them in bookkeeping, somebody to train them in marketing, get them mentors, have these networking sessions where we would bring women who had done these things and excelled at them to tell their story. And people actually are inspired to know that it can be done. She did it, not theoretical, but practice. So we'd spend 2 days in seminars with these women. And we've seen, of course, there are baby steps because the demand out there for literacy, for finance is huge. But we started on the journey. And we started offering these women non-collateralized finances. Of course, there will be checks and balances. Are you already in business? How long has a business existed?
Before you go there, Immaculate, I think we'll touch that aspect. I really wanted the starting point, you know, that you made, the issue of, you know, Noah. It's not about just giving the money. No. But preparing the soul, the person that's going to receive this money. And I think we had a discussion, you know, off camera about how, you know, pensioners who receive lump sum end up blowing all of it. And the people who generally get this lump sum, like, I think I can add the people who win lotteries. But I mean, how important is this from your experience? And do you feel that most of our SMEs actually, you know, invest in that? Do they take it serious?
Thanks, Charles. The biggest risk actually to survival and even access to finance for these SMEs is actually the founders. So most people set out to start businesses to be rich, not offer value or not to solve a problem that is existing. Yes. Now, for any business to be sustainable, you need to rearrange that mindset. Offer value, solve a problem. Then by solving it, you earn money to make you rich. Now, when the agenda of the founder of the business or of the owner of the business is I want to make money, they focus less on housekeeping issues. That's just like, you know, instead of cleaning the whole body because you know you're going to be in clothes, you focus more on the what? On the face and be sure that, you know, as long as my face is in order, then the rest I can see how to maneuver.
There's what they call a catchism.
So the challenge is that you open a shop to be rich. You don't open a shop because you've seen that people walk long distances to buy soap. People walk long distances to buy posho, maize flour. People walk long distances to buy beans. Yes. And when that is not what is backing or what is mainly driving you to start, then you don't focus on the things you need. For example, if I'm going to start a business because I want to be sure that I'm bringing clothes, I'm bringing household products, soap, sugar, maize flour, or beans, close to people, then I may not focus so much on my supplies. Now, you see, if my focus is not on how I'll ensure that these people have the beans they need on time, or the maize they need on time, then it means I'll not have a plan. And therefore, in the corporate world language, I'll not have a business plan. But remember, I have working capital. I even have premises I've opened up to start a business. My objective is to make money. But I'm not minding about solving the other problem of enabling my people in my community to access household products at their convenience. So it comes back. Before you start, which she mentioned, before you start a business, do some basic research. Know the problem out there which you're trying to solve at a profit as a business owner, because that's what the game is about. I do a boda. I take you to Kampala. You maneuver jam from maybe Maganjo to Serena. You reach in 15 minutes. Then I make some money. But if your objective of leaving home is to just make money, not to make sure I arrive where you'll get me as a boda rider in time to take you to your workplace at Serena, then I'll not be a good business person. So when you're trying to access money, therefore to grow your business, the questions we usually ask are questions to answer or to enable us to understand which problem out there you're solving. That's why we ask for things such as, show us your business plan. Because we know we'll find a vision there, we'll find a mission there, we'll find your business objectives, we'll find even your dreams, your ambitions as a business. We want to grow from what to what in 5 years.
Thank you, thank you, Noah.
So that is what I would like to highlight, that we need to focus our orientation as entrepreneurs, as SMEs, from just making money to offering value, to solving a problem that is out there
in society. That's a good one. Dear viewers, we have a WhatsApp number on screen. So if you have any burning issue, a question, to ask Immaculate from Centenary Bank and Noah here from ABI, please send those pointers. We would like to really, have the discussion where you're engaged and participating. I must also add that, the business plan that Noah is talking about and all those documents and the research shouldn't be made for just Noah and Immaculate alone. They are for you. They are for the business. Because these are partners that help you grow and move forward. Because now I'm sure you have experiences where people, like we said in the past, develop a plan because they want to get,
Yeah, if looking at the special groups we are looking at, you actually find that, with special groups, it is even sometimes very worse, especially when you come to, aspects such as literacy. So if maybe someone has been teaching somewhere and has lost a job or wants to do a side hustle like you mentioned, sometimes it is even easier for them to prepare. But when you, for example, start to say, we are supporting women who are growing beans in Kabale district, then it is even trickier. Because, such a group may not be very sophisticated in terms of education. So for them, they will come as a group which, for example, Centenary is advertising that they want to help, but Centenary is now going to ask for the other details, which Immaculate mentioned. They do the background checks to ensure that the money is safe. Have you been doing this business? Do you know who you want to sell to? Do you have off-takers or buyers of the produce who are ready to buy from you when you harvest? Have you been keeping records? How many members are you? How much money do you make? Of the money you make, how much is profit? How much goes back into your business after you've shared profits, maybe as people who are in a group that is accessing a group loan, for example, if the group loan is targeting a special group. You could be a group of refugees who are have settled in an area, like maybe in West Nile, and you're ready, you've started engaging in businesses. Irrespective of which special interest group you are, the manners of doing business well must be upheld at all time. No one is going to give you a loan without assessing whether you're creditworthy because you are of a certain gender.
I hear you. Thank you,
Yes.
Noah. Immaculate, this is where I bring in the issue I had started to build, the one of non-collateralized lending.
Yes, please.
If you can break that one down a little for us, because like we said at the beginning, the group that we're talking about, the women and the youth, if you look at them in that context, most of them lack, the collateral, so to speak,
Yes.
to actually access some of this financing. How do you do that, and who then qualify for that kind of lending?
Who qualifies? I think all women who are into business. It could be very small, it could be medium,
Okay.
but you've been in business for a while. And I would start with something basic. You're in trade, you have a trading license. You work in an area, people know you. The LCs can attest to that fact. And you also have some kind of basic bookkeeping. And you've had also a relationship with a financial institution. You could have had a relationship, for example, with Centenary Bank. What happens is that you've probably been depositing, but because you do not have collateral, you probably can't go for the big money, and you even fear to approach. So if you're a member of the Superwoman Club, you can approach any branch, a Centenary branch, and tell them, I'm a member of the Superwoman Club. I'm into crafts, art and crafts. My shop is here. Of course, we will come and visit the shop. We will do a bit of due diligence about you. And then we will assess your banking history, because you're in a crafts shop. Certainly, you probably make sales, even if it's 50,000 a week or 100,000 a week. So basis that, then we shall say that we can probably give you 2 million for a period of two years for you to pay back, so that you put it in your business and then we see it grow. But it is not enough, like Noah said, for us to give you a business. If you're a member of the Superwoman Club, we'll attach you to a mentor. First of all, you get the networking sessions, because one session of networking and us inviting experts to take you through bookkeeping, to take you through marketing, access to markets, because we'll bring in, for example, women who do the same thing like you do, and we discuss markets. So what we do is we open up markets. If you didn't know that you could probably sell to a certain group of people, then your fellow women who are already doing it will share with you. So we attach you to a mentor who keeps on checking on you to ensure. So basically the relationship, it's a start of a relationship that is long term. As you learn the trade better and you learn the basics of doing business better, you have a mentor who is also a superwoman in their own right, who takes out time to check on you. You take out time, visit them, see their business, so they handhold you. But you're able to get this access. And then of course, you could start with 2 million. If you pay it back well, then you can come for a 4 million.
Yes, just when you mentioned superwoman, someone watching might say, maybe that's not for me. I'm not super. Which begs a question: who qualifies? Who can enter that space? What are the requirements?
Any woman who is between the ages of 21 to 65 is doing some form of business. It could be a retail shop, it could be a boutique, it could be a market stall, but wants to be empowered financially, is eligible to be a superwoman.
Okay.
Anybody can be a superwoman in their own right. It is your zeal to want to be better, to want to achieve better, to have more financial discipline, so that you have savings, so that you have access to loans, collateralized later when you're big enough and you have a collateral, and uncollateralized before that. People start from nothing and they go from zero to hero. You can start by borrowing from Centenary. Will lend you from 500,000, from 1,000,000 shillings, because it will improve your. I don't know whether we've done a study on youths,
Yes.
especially youths in markets, because we are trying to work in that space. We are already in the space of youth with the KCCA loans, with the government loans, where we also offer youth uncollateralized finances. But from money lenders, you'd be surprised. They borrow every morning at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
There are money lenders in this city who lend these people money at weird amounts of money, 20%. They borrow maybe 50,000, goes, does their shopping, cooks the food if they are food vendor. In the evening, they pay back. In the morning, they borrow again. They pay this money lender with. So if that business is formalized, like Noah said,
Yes.
you could actually, people don't know that you can walk into a bank. You'll not only get literacy. I'll tell you, we have super women desks in the branches to specifically speak to the women.
That's a good point you raised, Immaculate. Because I keep asking myself, why would someone go to a money lender who's going to charge him 180% a year?
Exactly.
And, you know, you have a big player like Centenary
Yes.
with a product. Of course, you're going to tell us about the costing of these products, but is offering a better option.
Yeah.
And it again now brings me to the question of the level of engagement you have as a bank with this micro operator down there. Because I know some of them will even fear to walk into a banking hall.
Exactly. And I think the biggest challenge is the lack of information that is out there. So that's why for us, we intentionally and deliberately, I think the past few years, you've seen us on media, you've seen me on radio, myself and the team at Centenary Bank, the branch managers, trying to demystify this, telling our listeners and viewers out there that these banks are made for you, you know. But it is also the lack of confidence. Somebody sees this imposing structure, maybe they see my parents say, how will I enter there? But it's open for you. It could be any other branch. It could be Centenary Bank in Kabale. It could be, and then you find that these people take them for a ride. They give them money at exorbitant, because first of all they make it easy, seem very easy, which it is, but at what cost? And if this lady or this youth should sat back to do their books, you find that they're actually working for the money lender.
Yeah.
That they could come into a bank, get the literacy for free, and most of the, you know, the products in the bank, there are quite many. They also have insurance policies attached to them in the event that anything goes wrong. And we negotiate insurance at very minimal costs. But I think the biggest challenge is the lack of information out there. People are not informed that actually banks have gone, banks like Centenary Bank, who understand, to use the local language, omuntu wa wansi, omuntu wa bulijjo, the local person who does day-to-day things to survive, or activities to survive, has actually researched this person, and we have products that are rock bottom cheap
for that particular person. Thank you, Immaculate. Dear viewers, I have to remind you that this show is brought to you by Enterprise Uganda, and with support from Ministry of Finance, ABI, and other partners. Again, this week, our coach, one of the resident coaches, Charles Otich, is not with us, but he will be joining us next week. Noah, she raises a very important point, which I think we need to really put into context proper. I know as a business development expert, you handhold businesses. Yeah. You sit with them at different levels and see that they put their house in order, put their ducks in line, like they say. How do we, again, to complement what Immaculate is saying, you know, take this service or make this person down there appreciate the existence, you know, of those very nice products meant for him or her that Immaculate is talking about? What more do we do from the innovation side? And again, based on your experience dealing with these people on a day-to-day.
Oh, thanks, Charles. The focus must be, we must focus on the person we want to avail the financing to, but we should also have focus on our own selves. There are people who say, when you're pointing at someone like this, remember these other 3 fingers are also pointing at you. So yes, we know there are people out there who need the money. Yes, we know they are not very much aware of the good products such as those of Centenary Bank.
Yes.
We then need to intensify these campaigns and use every opportunity of campaigning to ensure that this information goes out, whether it is on the community radios, whether it is in newspapers, whether it is on phones. But most importantly, we also need to start to focus very seriously on the convenience of access. The money lenders thrive on convenience only.
Yep.
They thrive on convenience. He will come to where you are with the money in the pocket. So he first counts the money for you, puts it on the table, then gives you the paper to sign. Of course, the financial institutions, paperwork is the beginning. So there is a lot of time that goes in on regarding how sign this, sign that. Let's go home, take photos of you in front of your house, or bring a financial statement and the rest. And the person is saying, in the next 1 hour, I want to buy stock for my business. Customers will be walking in the next 1 hour and a half. So we need to go beyond having the good products, but also give those products legs, so that the products can be walking to the person who needs to utilize those products, and then they can access them from home. Look like at the mobile solutions for accessing banks.
Yeah.
You'll find someone has an ATM card. Yeah. They are able to access their account on email. They are also able to access their account on phone, by text. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you find that the person has no excuse for not reaching out to you as a financial services provider. They have you on their phone, they have you in their email, they have you on the ATM card, and the ATM is even closed. So we need to emphasize those and ensure that people can access you anywhere. And the moment that is achieved, then these kind of risks of going to people who give you money you can't even service will go out of the way. Even the money lenders, even if they decide to stay, they'll also have to bring their interest rates down because they now have good competition. So I think the focus, yes, will be on teaching people how to access the money, teaching them and coaching them, mentoring them on how to run their business as well. But we also have to have the right products.
Good point. Immaculate. I think, of course, he raises a point which I want to anchor on, for instance, fintech. Because when he mentions, giving these money legs.
Yes.
Today we live in very interesting times, good times, I should say, that fintech can actually sort a lot more of that. Because, with just my mobile phone, I can do so much. I can withdraw, I can deposit, I can borrow, and that kind of thing. I don't know if you can shed some light for our viewers. What's the level of engagement that Centenary Bank has, engaging or using technology to actually deliver some of its services, especially to that micro chap down there? Because I know if you do it physically, it's going to be very costly to the bank to actually have an agent walking from house to house. But probably with fintech, you can get there.
Great. That's a great question. And I would like to allay everybody's fears out there that Centenary Bank hasn't been left behind in the move to, like Noah, my brother said, to give these finances legs, access to move directly to the clients. We have a product called the Cente Mobile Loan. In the comfort of a superwoman or a youth's home, or you can borrow from 5,000 shillings to 5 million shillings on your phone.
Okay.
In the garden.
In the garden, you have to pay your your supplier of seeds. You have to pay, and you're short of funds. You borrow, and in the space of 1.5 minutes, this money will be in your account, which you can then pull from your account onto your mobile wallet and push it to whoever it is that you want. It's a transporter, name it a supplier, off-taker, whoever it is that you need to pay. So we have not been left behind. Like I said, for everything, we do research. We did research and say, what is it that this money lender has? What edge do they have over us? Yeah. And like Noah very ably said, it was the convenience. They are convenient. Today you open a Centenary Bank account. It could be a Superwoman account. It could be a youth account. It could be an ordinary saving account. Just connect it to Cente Mobile. That is the mobile platform on your phone. You have been you've been with the bank for 2 months, and we look at your history. We have an automatic credit scoring module. So say with the level of activity on your account, you can just key in how much am I eligible to borrow, and they will tell you maybe 1 million or 500. Interest is between 7% to 9%.
Thank you.
If you juxtaposition it to what the money lender would tell you, the saving is enormous.
I hear you.
I think for people who've dealt in that business, you know that this is a great product. So like Noah, to allay your fears, we are already in that space. We actually, on a daily mobile loans, we offer close to 2,000, 3,000. People borrow on their phones daily. Some people actually borrow at 5 a.m. every morning and pay back the bank in the evening, only to borrow again, depending on the level of business.
Interesting.
So I think that is all the information that is out there. I'm surprised that we didn't know, but we are already in that space, working like a money lender, especially, and I think where we beat the money lender on this, I don't need to see you. Yeah. The bank doesn't need to see you. You could be in the comfort of your bed.
It's your
talking
history.
To your supplier. It's your history that will speak for you. And within the space of exactly 1.5 minutes, the money will be on your account. You'll get a message that the money has been deposited onto your account. You can pull it using your phone, put it on your mobile wallet, and push it to whoever. If the person you're paying is in Centenary Bank, you can even push it to the account of the person you're paying and tell, gentlemen, I have paid you. Can I have my lorry of beans delivered today? So everything digital, everything mobile, and the banks are there.
Thank you,
Centenary Bank is already playing in that space.
Thank you, Immaculate. And I must emphasize that on this show, we have all categories of viewers. In fact, we've hosted people like Atwib. He's owning a stall in Nakawa Market, and he has actually moved his business digital from a stall. And the beauty is that the people who watch the Business X Ratio are rational. And I'm sure when they hear such information, they'll come and ask, or they'll come and take those products. Dear viewers, we'll take a very short commercial break. We'll pick the discussion from there. I've seen some of your comments coming through. Again, keep sending them so that we have, the special guests we have today answer them. But after this break. Welcome back. It's again the Business X-ray, and we're looking at access to capital, and we're looking at how do you make it easy for special groups. And in this, we have the youth and women, the elderly, and the disabled, access financing, or people who may not have, the conventional requirements that a financial institution might ask. How do we make them access? The reason why we are paying attention to this subject is that we understand and appreciate that actually, when we talk SMEs, the people behind most of these SMEs are actually young people. They are the youth. We're talking again before the show, Noah, that if you go into the villages and see the people who are actually engaged into agricultural production, it's the women and young people. Most of the men, without any fear of contradiction, actually act as brokers, to sell what has been put together. If it is coffee, these guys do the reaping, they do the weeding before, of course, the reaping of the coffee, rather the harvesting, and then the drying, and then the man will bring the guy of the bicycle to do the selling and receive the cash, and then determine who gets what, if he's willing to give anything anyway. So it's the reason why we have this show specifically targeted at that. So if you have any questions, there's a WhatsApp number on the screen which you can use to forward that question. We have a financier in the house, Centenary Bank, which is quite critical, especially in the area of agribusiness or SME, if you would expand that. And then we have a business development expert in the house from ABI, Noah. He can help us understand and break down some of these issues. Immaculate, of course, when we talk about special groups, we mention the youth. And with the youth, of course, we're not talking about the females alone. We're talking about, you know, young people, you know, that would be categorized as youths. And again, on this show, we've hosted a number of them from Gulu, from the West, from Central. They have very, very amazing stories. They've done a lot. And if you talk to most of them, they'll tell you most of the money we've used to invest or to reach where we are today is actually our own money. In fact, some would say, if possible, please don't go to the bank. In fact, when you mention bank to them, it's either bureaucracy or issues in certain areas. So tell us, as Centenary Bank, because we don't want to generalize and stereotype on this show, that's why we bring the experts and the people who are doing it to actually share with us the experiences. Now, when it comes to the young people, how do you look at them? How do you treat them as Centenary Bank when they come looking for support and financing?
Thank you very much. Centenary Bank and the youth. I think I would be lying to you if I tell you that we do not have a very, very strong spotlight on the youth at Centenary Bank. 75% of the population are youth today. Sadly, if you analyze bank accounts, you will find that much as 75% of the population today are youth, it is under 40% of the bank accounts, the 7 or so million bank accounts that belong to the youth. Now that in itself tells a big story. It looks to a lot of very high entry barriers for the youth into the formal banking sector. So we also went ahead and carried, through research, we decided to have a spotlight on the youth. Through a lot of government interventions, institutions like ABI, we still got funds to be able to onward lend to the youth who have started businesses without collateral. And we do that. I think we are one of the biggest banks that offer finances to youth. However, to allude back to the product that I talked about before we had the break, the commercial break, the Cente mobile loan, it was more geared towards the youth to look at things of conveniency, things of speed,
and they are more
quick
IT
to
savvy.
market. Exactly, they are more IT savvy, and they do not have a lot of time on their hands. Their bank, we basically placed their bank in their hand to ensure you don't have to walk into any banking hall. They can do all their banking. They can deposit money into their accounts, withdraw money, pay suppliers, borrow loans in order to improve their businesses in the palm of their hands. So it is through interventions and through a lot of research that we are actually trying to demystify the issue of finances for the youth. That said, we also offer a lot of literacy. Through the dioceses, through the districts, we call the youth in the areas and we talk to them. We actually empower them with these products. We've had literacy sessions on radio, physical literacy sessions of these youths to tell them that all is not lost. Yes, you may not have a title, you may not have a motor vehicle car because you do not have a car, but it should not be a showstopper for you. Your business should be, you can thrive doing business with Centenary Bank. So we come up with all these products in support of the youth because they are very big constituent. 75% of the population cannot be ignored. You ignore them at your own cost.
Good. That's great. Noah, in your programs, when you're identifying partners and then, those to support, where do you place the youth? Is it one of the constituencies that you look at as, among the key areas or critical components?
Thank you, Charles. Indeed, at ABI, we ensure that everyone who's getting financial support, whether it is a loan, a line of credit, or whether it is a grant, that investment they are going to put the money in is socially responsible.
Yes.
what do we mean by an investment being socially responsible? We ensure, we mean that it should do no harm, or it should be inclusive to all social classes of people. Of course, youth, because of age, will be in that group. Women are in that group. There are even other special groups, like the refugees I mentioned, who, if you're implementing interventions in that area, we ensure that you're taking care of them in your planning. Otherwise, you know, how do you then plan for succession? If you don't include the youth today, who will be the boss tomorrow? Because after the ones called senior because of age are out, then the ones who are youth now will be the seniors tomorrow. So it is very deliberate on our side. And actually, the more youth, for example, and women you have in your targeting for your interventions, the better for you on our side. So we ensure that your social inclusivity is as good as possible. But we don't only even, you know, focus on those social aspects. We also focus on the environmental aspects. We don't want you to start financing an investment that is going to spoil the environment. But above, in addition to the social inclusion and the environmental sensitivity, we also ensure that your institution is well governed. So you'll find us asking things like, you know, where is your board? If you are an institution that should have a board by the way you're defined or the way you're structured. We start to ask you, how do you ensure that money within your company is not lost? Where are your, you know, audited accounts? Where are your internal controls? Can a manager walk in and say, you accountant, come here, I want 1 million shillings? Or can a member of staff say, I need this money without a justification, and you pay it out? So we focus on the entire, you know, all those aspects of the institution. But back to the social aspects, youth and any other special interest groups must be catered for. And the reason is simple. Everyone deserves, you know, the right, or has the right to be happy, to be healthy, to be employed and earn. So if you don't focus on them, then it means your business will not be for the good of all. You'll actually find that you're empowering some and disempowering others. So indeed, you must focus on it. Maybe another thing I can add is that being a special interest group, say a youth, in the youth bracket of youth, and maybe you're being targeted by Centenary Bank, it does not give you any you know, right, or it does not automatically mean that you can do things the way you want. I know people are going to walk into Centenary Bank tomorrow or after this show and say, we saw Immaculate on NTV saying you have money for us.
For the youth.
Sure.
Yes, I know there are institutions in this country which give people money because they are in groups. They tell you, go make a group, come, we give you money. Financial institutions don't work like that, because they are governed by the other issue we are discussing when we had JB on the show, of Ruchiga Sacco. They make sure that your business is a going concern. That's what guarantees that their money is safe. That's what guarantees that when you borrow money, you return it tomorrow. Otherwise, when your business is on its way to death, it will die with the money of the bank or of the lender you got the money from. So please, being focused on is just a privilege, but it's not a right.
That's a good one.
Yes. So do business the right way. Keep records. If you're doing a border business, why not write the money you earn daily? So that when you're going to the bank, you show them that between Jan and December, I've made this money. And say, based on that, if I've made 5 million this year, it means if I took a loan of 2 million, I can service it easily.
Exactly.
And like we always say on this show, Noah, is that business is not charity, actually. You have to have what it takes. And that's how you attract partners. That's how you attract all these people to support you in whatever you're doing. Because a bank, when it gives you that money, it needs it back. And it's only to help you get you to one level to another. Immaculate, I have, let me pick some of the responses that are coming through.
Okay.
And I know you touched this. Probably you'll break it down a little more specifically, because I have about 5 questions, but I'll pick one saying the same. That is, Janat says, I do crocheting in Majestic Plaza. How can I join the Superwoman Club?
Where is Majestic Plaza?
I think somewhere downtown.
Downtown.
Yes.
So, Janet, thank you very much for viewing us this afternoon. How would you join the Superwoman Club? For starters, you will get into a Centenary Bank branch and open a Superwoman account. You need two passport size photos. You need an opening balance, which is your money. Most people, when they hear opening balance, they think that it's money that the bank takes in order for them to open for you this account. You open with it and it will sit on your account. Opening balance of 50,000, you walk in and you specifically request to open for a Superwoman account. You'll state the businesses that you, the business that you do. You said you do crocheting. They will take in your details so that then they attach you to this particular group that can help you grow. They attach you to specific mentor that will see you grow your business. Then at such a time when you want to, for example, to borrow, it will become a lot easier for you. But first, I think the relationship. Women and youth have got to work on the relationship. Relationship is not a matter of course, or a matter of, yes, I have my bank. It takes two to tango. So start the relationship. It is a journey, and your bank will stand in good stead for you when you need it.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have another one. Again, this one relates to agribusiness. He says, thanks for the program. My issue is that I do rear my goats. I need capital to enhance my farms. How can I qualify to access a bank loan?
How would he qualify to access a bank loan? It's a very, very good question, but I will say that the answers are subjective. Subject to amount of money, how long has he been? The very same things that Noah has been talking about. How long has he been growing the goats? Where is he selling them? How much is he looking at? What level of growth is he looking to get? Things that a typical person, even if he's not a banker, I would think that even a shrewd money lender would ask you. So you want to grow goats. Where? How many? Have you been doing it? Which speaks now into the expertise that is needed for me to have confidence, or the lack of it. Then I can empower you with knowledge or attach you to somebody who will empower you with knowledge to be able to grow this business. So it is a good question, but it is highly subjective. And if he did approach a Centenary Bank branch and he's attached to a loan officer, they will ask him those questions.
Very good.
So the first point is to have a bank relationship with an account in the bank. Then next, go in. They will get you a loan officer. They will ask you those questions because I would be able in position to answer, but I don't know how many goats he wants. Where is the demand? Is he looking to sell fresh meat of the goats? Is he looking to sell them whole? Basically, there is need for us to understand a little bit more about what they are doing.
I think it comes back again
to what Noah just said.
Exactly. I mean,
but it also speaks into the fact that as a serious businessman, I think this is information that should be on their fingertips. That yes, I am approaching, even if it's a loan shark. I think it is in their interest, in order for me to lend you money that you can very ably pay back. I must be comfortable with where it's going, what it's going to do, how much of it you need. I think those questions haven't come
very
through.
critical indeed. I hear you. Noah, I have Alex from Tongamo. He's saying, how can they find ABI? What does it take to actually be supported by ABI?
Thank you, Alex. You're welcome to ABI any day, Monday to Friday. But you need to, have a few things clear and with you. One is that you should have been in business for a minimum of at least 3 years, and with audited accounts for at least 2 years. And for one simple reason, to show that indeed you are doing whatever you're doing as a business. Secondly, definitely you should be in agribusiness. we support value chains. We were at 5 previously. We are now at about 7, which include pulses. Pulses is the grain legumes like beans and others. We have cereals, which has maize, sorghum, and all those other cereals. We have dairy. We have oil seeds, which is seeds from which oil is extracted. Sim, soybean, and the rest. We have horticulture, again fruits and legumes, broad, mangoes, pineapples, and then we have recently we have added poultry. Okay. But we also have what we call cross-cutting value chains, where you could be doing an activity that cuts across, such as trading in inputs. So we still are able to support those. What the practice is right now, we advertise funding windows, and this can be accessed on our website, where you come in based on what we are advertising, and we are going to support for a period, and then you apply. Our website is www.abi.co.ug, but again, like I said, we advertise in the newspapers. But most importantly, whatever you're doing, you must be doing it as a business and not as a hobby. Those who say, I have a passion for agriculture. Yes. But you ask them, so what is your plan? You have one goat now. But what is your plan for the next 5 years? They have no idea. You're saying, okay, how much land do you need on which you want to grow the goats, to rear the goats? They don't have quick answers. Just make sure that whatever you're doing it as a business. And one of the signs is that you at least have a plan, and you're auditing your accounts. When someone comes, whether the founder of the business is around or not, they can be showed and said, last year this is how we performed, this is the money we received, this is how we spent it, this is the profit we made, and this is the loss we made. By the way, making a loss in business does not mean you're a bad business. You could be making a loss because you're on your way to profitability. For example, if I've just bought everything new, it is not easy to recover all my money in 1 year. So my cash flows will show that actually what I spent out is more than what I earned. But within 5 years, I'm sure, once as soon as my factory or my processing plant or my shop is working, then in 5 years I'll be able to break even and go into profitability. So don't be shy because your financials are registering losses or negative profit. Just have them and have a plan which is clear of how you want to turn around your business from the state it is right now, maybe of loss making, to profitability. Very good. Yeah.
I think that has registered quite well with the viewers. I have Abdella at Kwase. He's a student, a first-year student. This is for you, Immaculate.
Yes, please.
He's saying he's doing a bachelor's degree in business administration. She is Adiela. She's Adiela at Kwase. In business administration and management at Uganda Matters University in Kozi. I would like to join Superwoman. I'm 21. I have no business yet, but I have dreams of being a big entrepreneur, especially dealing in poultry farming. Is it possible?
It is very, very possible to join the Superwoman Club because she is of age. She'll go to a branch. I don't know, there's something I also wanted to mention. Centenary Bank has over 4,070 agents across Uganda. I think you've seen the small shops where that is also a place where you can open your account and carry out your banking services. So if she doesn't, she's not very close to, but there's Kayawe branch near Nkozi and so many other branches along the road. But in the event that she can't get access to a branch, she can go to an agent, open this account. She will still be eligible to get the literacy sessions because they will ask her areas of interest, and then she'll say poultry. And then she'll be attached to poultry farmers who have excelled in the art. And she will learn the basics even before she takes baby steps. And I think that's a very good way to learn because then she'll be exposed to things like the business plan that Noah talked about, access to market. Now, if I grow these hens or layers or broilers, where am I going to sell? How much demand is it in the area? Where am I going to focus my farm? What do I need? And then by the time she actually goes in, she will be a superwoman in her own right.
Good. I think that's a good one, because we also encourage people on this show. One of the reasons why this show is here is actually to sharpen people's minds, those in business and those aspiring
to be
to join the business world, because it's very good to actually have a clear mind, a structured mind, probably even written down somewhere.
She could even get access to a mentor even at that point in time. She could meet her mentor once a month to encourage her, see how far has she gone with her dreams. You know.
No, I wanted to add something. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, I'm very, very excited about this very person, because you know, when you're a student, it even gives you time and an opportunity to even do things like research on what you're interested in. If I'm a student of business administration, I can decide to do my research in poetry. So I'll be learning, I'll be doing something I need to complete the requirements for my course at university, but I'm also adding on my knowledge of something I'm passionate about. So secondly, it gives you time to even go and with the mentors to go on a farm. For example, if your mentor has a farm, then they can accommodate you. You're going there to do internship, but you're also learning something you want to venture into as soon as you finish campus. So this is a grand way to enter into something she likes, but something she can also do at a profit. Some people's hobbies are not profitable. She's lucky that she has something she may like to do as a hobby, but where she can also make money. So for me, I would encourage her, like Immaculate has said, go open an account, get attached to a mentor, and start to link up with people who know what is happening.
Great.
Maybe to add on just a little on what Noah has said. These mentorship sessions are very good because we have what we call a meet and greet. Meet and greet would be in groups, but also meet and greet would be a day in the life of your mentor. For example, I'm a poultry farmer, much as I work with the bank. So she could say a day in the life of Immaculate on her poultry farm, which would essentially mean that my mentee would have to be at place of convenience at about 6 a.m. in the morning, and we go with her to my little farm and we spend the day. She actually sees what I do. We start with the bookkeeping, we have a meeting with the workers, we go into the poultry houses, we pick our eggs. So she has practical experience, and that Centenary Bank gives. And that's
the hand-holding you're talking about.
That is the hand-holding. And I think there is no better way than actually seeing somebody do it in practice. A lot of people talk about, like we were discussing before we came on the show, people are tired of motivational speakers who speak about mountains they've never climbed. So we want to bring these people in touch with mentors who've actually, when I say that I'm a poultry farmer, I'm actually I think no one knows that. I'm actually a poultry farmer. So I will take the mentee to my farm, and she'll have a day in the life of Immaculate on her poultry farm outside the bank. And if it's banking they're interested in, she can come and spend a day in the life of Immaculate, the banker.
Thank you. Now, Immaculate, again, talking about the youth, I have Laban from Boyogere. He's saying, good afternoon, sir, madam. I would like to inquire if you can give startup capital to youths who have just opened an account with Centenary Bank. I think because we talked about history and the rest, but I don't know how you can respond to him.
Startup, you open an account and straight out you have an account. You get a loan. That would be tricky unless they have a banking relationship with another financial institution. For obvious reasons. You must be, and I think the public also has to understand this money that we onward lend to people belongs to other people who save it. It is in their interest that it's guarded jealously and it's given to the right people. We are not about to finance people's hobbies, like Noah said, but we want to finance somebody who is a serious business person. So he will certainly start a relationship with the bank. But I think also at that point, you still gain from the literacy that you gain, access to markets that you gain. Then you start And at the point where we realize that this person is serious, they've taken baby steps to start,
Yes.
then we can come into finance.
I hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe, thanks, Immaculate. But also to bring hope to those who may not have startup capital, but who are interested in starting a business. Like, just it is like in value chains. You do not need to first have a farm for you to become a farmer. Huh? There are so many people out there who need workers. So go there, work. Even if it is a business, I may be interested in poultry, I can come. I have the skills as a youth. I can do accounts for your farm. I can feed the chicken. I can vaccinate or treat them. Do all the necessary activities I need to do on the farm to make sure that the chicken are okay. Go in, do it.
Yeah.
Give yourself, have a plan again. Say, I'm going to do this for 1 year or 2 years. I'll be saving 50,000 per month. For 2 years, that's a net of 24 months. That's 1.2 million. That should be adequate to get me started. Make sure that money you're earning, you're saving it on this account you opened in Centenary Bank so that you start to open the relationship. If you earn the money and the bank is not seeing it, by the time you come and say, I want a loan, then they'll say, they will not even be sure whether you're bankable.
Yeah.
They will not. You will not be having any traceability. But if I for 24 months or 12 months, I've been banking my 100,000 monthly as a saving. I have my 1.2 million, and maybe I'm borrowing 2.4. So the concessions can be made. You know, to say, oh, we know him. They'll come and see the premises where you want to start operating from. They'll find the trading license bears your name. It's very comforting.
Yeah.
And for the financial institution to give you money.
Great.
So don't sit back. You always have something to do. Like we said last week, there is nothing in this world that is for free.
Absolutely.
Someone will be giving you something because you are also able to reciprocate or give something in return. Give the bank the savings.
In the marketing
Give them
world,
the
they
comfort
say
to
there's
give you
always
the
a
loan
catch.
when you need it. Yeah.
Okay. Now I think that also answers Geoffrey. Geoffrey from Igangi was wondering how, because he says his money is not paid through a bank. I think he's a casual worker, so he receives money. But I think he can still open an account and deposit that money on the account. But I have someone here from Kasese. He's asking, he was trying to access the Center Mobile app, but he got a message that he needed a financial card. So he's wondering, what does he need to get a financial card?
All he needs is to get into a branch, and they will, the bank will get in touch with the Credit Reference Bureau, give them his details, and the financial card will be availed within less than 2 days. You'll have a financial card.
Okay.
However, even minus a financial card, that I think he was trying to self-register. When you're trying to self-register, they will ask you, but they normally ask for an ATM card, unless he was trying to borrow. Was he trying to borrow?
He was trying to borrow, yes.
Yes, if he was trying to borrow, because we need to check the Credit Reference Bureau. The credit scoring module, because it's all digitalized, will check your standing in the Credit Reference Bureau. You haven't gone squandering monies from different financial institutions. You have a good credit rating, then the money will be with you in a minute and a half.
Okay. I think the youths really have quite a number of questions. I'm trying to sift through them.
Okay.
I have Justus. He still wants to get that comfort that you'll actually pay attention to the young person when it comes to the bank.
Yes.
Because he's saying, what causes the back and forth of most youths to get loans? You know, he's stating it plainly. And we normally bring these questions as they come from our, but I think he needs that comfort. That actually
I think it's mostly what causes the back and forth. It's mostly lack of information. And probably when they go, depends on also the place where you get to. And also I think there's a lot of peer information. So we always tend to imagine that our circumstances are the same. Noah may have approached a financial institution, didn't have an Ndagamuntu or national ID, as it is called, and then they were tossed and told you can't have this account opened or something. But your circumstances would be different. You know, we actually have youth desks. We have a youth supervisor taking care of the youth. So let him not get cold feet. We are open to support them. He will be attended to.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Noah, I have
one
someone. Sorry.
more. Thanks, Charles. Yeah, you know, in Uganda, you're a youth up to 35 years.
Yes.
Yes. Although we've seen bigger youths, but that's another a topic for another day.
Yes, there are those who like the title, but when age-wise, they are no longer youth. I'm
Yes.
referring to the youth by age, not by title. I know some committees where you go and the chairman for youth on that committee is 55 and 60
And
years.
is a youth.
Yes. So for me, I think we have a call to seriousness as youth.
Yeah.
People are out there to help. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life between the age of 19, 18 to the age of 35? That is also an important question you need to ask yourself.
Yeah.
You have been riding border from the time you were 20. You have been in it for the last 10 years. You do not even have a book where you record your daily income. How do you want to confirm to the bank that when they give you a loan, you can pay back? Or that you're even earning the money, which you want to tag on paying that loan. You are running a shop as a youth. You started it in your much younger days of 18 years, 17 years, 19 years. You have been doing it for the last 10 years. You're still a youth.
Yeah.
What if I come and ask you basic things? How much money do you make a day? Who are the main customers who buy here? Which of your products in your shop is most bought? Of course, most of them will give you the normal usual answer. Chisinzira. It depends. No. If you're keeping records, that word does not exist.
Yeah.
Because you'll tell me that during the first week of the month, usually people mainly buy this. Because you have a record of it.
Yeah.
You'll tell me that during the go back to school days, people mainly buy this because you have been carefully and keenly recording these things. So as youth, yes, we want to be helped, but we also have a call to help or redeem our own selves by doing things that we are capable of doing, which are even cost-free.
Great.
How much money do I lose to get a pen and a paper to write how much money I'm earning and how much I'm spending? So let's do our part. Let's prepare ourselves. Opportunities come to those who are ready.
Talking about opportunities, Noah, I have Rumo here. Rumo Edward is a youth, and he's saying, of course, you know, he's looking at how he can attract partnerships, especially grants. He's saying, how can I get partners in my business? My business is a school, more especially at this time. How can I qualify? I think he wanted to underline the COVID time for schools. How can I qualify to get a grant? I'm a youth and my school is 4 years old. And I think this goes beyond ABI. But what can you advise him as a business development expert?
Of course, not all hope is gone. Indeed, there are financiers who are available to help, but they'll ask what we've been discussing. Before your school was affected by COVID, how was it performing? Do you have good, nice, clean, trustable records to show what you were doing? That's one. Two, were you banking the proceeds from your school? So that, you know, Centenary Bank will say, yes, he was doing well. Now that schools are opening for all classes by June, once all students have reported, he will be able to collect enough money to start financing a loan. When you walk to a bank, for example, are you able to answer the questions they are going to ask you regarding whether to inform them on whether they should give you the money or not? So you have a bit of house cleaning you have to arrange and organize yourself internally, and then, you know, look out for opportunities. Walk to even these banks. We need to remember that even if I'm going to give you a grant to finance your school, I need to be sure that without my grant, your school can continue to exist on its own. That is why, for us as ABI, we ask for your sustainability plan. We want to know, after ABI's grant is out, how will you continue? That's why we ask you for financial projections with ABI support and without ABI support. If you show us that even if when we exit, you will not continue to live,
yes,
then we will not be keen.
I hear you.
Yeah, and it's the rational thing to do. Everyone, if you're treating someone, you know they are not going to recover completely. Your zeal to treat them and support them and be on them is not as much as where, you know, if I take this tablet, tomorrow that I'll be up and running and resume work. So we will definitely not bypass you, but we'll work with you to ensure that you now start to think on how to run your business as a going concern and how to make it sustainable.
Thank you, Noah.
But back to his question, ABI is for agribusiness.
Yeah.
But I know there are actors in the market who have recovery finances for institutions to help them, you know, cushion them against the effects of COVID. But they will ask you for those things. To go online, read newspapers, go in and Google, see who is supporting, you know, institutions in the education sector. Know the requirements. Even as you approach them, go ready with your file.
Yeah.
So that you don't start calling people, oh, jump on a border, bring me the other receipt, bring me the trading license, bring me a copy of the business plan, all those other things. So get ready, go online, read newspapers, stay current. You'll definitely get someone who can support you.
Thank you, Noah. Immaculate, I have Tumine from Barara. He's saying, thanks for the show. I'm extremely interested in growing more further. But my question to Immaculate, why can't they also design a Superman account like they did for women?
That's a very good product development idea. We started with the women, but maybe to inform Mr. Tumwine. Mr. Tumwine, thank you very much for that question. But I think you had that in 2014, 2015, when we carried out the research, as we were going into partnership with the ABI Trust.
Yes.
We had only 28% of the banked population of Centenary Bank. At that point, it was 1.4 million customers banked with Centenary Bank. 28% were women, which means that 72% were men.
Okay.
So we thought that men did not have a very urgent problem. They had a problem, but it wasn't as urgent as the women. But it's a good product development idea, and we will think about it. We'll speak to the men and see where the gaps are.
Yes.
Noah talked about reaching out to a need, meeting a need. What solution are we providing? So we need to know in which spaces we can which spaces we can reach out to for men in order to offer financial solutions. But the men seem to be already aggressive. They're out there. They're into loans. They're into saving. They're into fixed deposit, forex, name it.
They're all over the place.
Yes.
And they do not seem to be marginalized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to associate with the
Tumwine.
Mr. Tumwine. Yeah. In ABI, for example, we support doing agriculture as a family business. And the reason is simple. Women exist in an ecosystem of their counterparts who are the males. Now, most of the women's problems, like in the agriculture sector, have a big bearing on the men, whether it is the dads or brothers or husbands in their lives. She grows the crop, he takes it and sells it. But if, for example, through the super men's club, he's able to get the business development support, the mentorship, the learning, so that he appreciates that he needs to work with his entire household so that they cultivate more land, harvest more, sell more, and earn more. Much as he may not need to open an account with you, for example, but you will now address the other challenge. And I usually tell people that when you're in an environment where there are rich people, they don't need to give you money directly. You'll always enjoy it. If they construct a good road, you'll drive your bicycle on it. Even if it was constructed for the cars, you'll drive your bicycle in comfort on it. So if the men also need attention, because they much as they may be the one who are most active, they are most active because they are bearing perhaps more responsibilities traditionally. But when it comes to knowledge, look at the high numbers of the dying rate. I like using that word because it is more annoying. the dying rate of businesses. 80% not seeing their second birthday. Those are not the women's businesses only. So I think I don't subscribe to the idea of focusing on one group because you think it is most needed. Actually, its problems, the low banking numbers for women, maybe because they are choked by their counterparts from doing business. So to unlock their potential, you go and deal with the other gender. I usually tell the ladies, especially the feminists, that for me, if I want to deal with the issues of women, I focus on men. Because if you're saying she's being marginalized, it means there's someone who doesn't care about her feelings, who's controlling the resources. So if you side with the other one, then how are you going to unlock? If the water is not flowing, I don't concentrate on the dry land where the water is not going. I focus on the other tank, which is closed. I open it, then the water runs and goes down to the areas where it is needed. So I think, and I'm saying this broadly, the boy child needs even more focus than the girl child. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can take that one to the bank.
That's a good one.
Yes, because look at, for me, I have very, very serious passion for market systems development. When you're in market systems, you don't focus on where the symptoms are. Someone is crying. No. Focus on who is slapping them. When slaps are not coming, there will be no crying. But if you start, bringing nice warm towels to massage the slapped area, to apply, some medicine so that it doesn't swell, you're not solving a problem. So for me, I think, please, you have an opportunity, in my view, have a product. So that when I walk into the bank with my wife, she takes the superwoman corner, I take the superman corner. Then we meet at home, we share notes, and then we start to do the agribusiness as a family business. Our youth, as they grow, they will also emulate. Because they will know if mommy is doing it and daddy is doing it, and our family is flourishing because of it, then that's the way to go. So please add that other angle. You will thank me later.
Thank you very much, Noah. Yes. I think from a strategic perspective, you're talking about root cause analysis. So the root cause of women, and I want to add youth, but very quietly, is men. So certainly Centenary Bank will go into the research, and we try to understand this person whom we thought was not marginalized, and we will certainly come up with a product in order for families to thrive.
On that note, thank you very much, Immaculate, and thank you, Noah. Dear viewers, I'm afraid that's all the time we had for you today. I see there are so many questions that have come in, but I need to promise you this, that we're going to have a session where we're going to actually visit all those questions, those that send them and have not received answers to them, where we're going to be looking at these questions specifically. Because, this show is about teaching, and we're here to extend business development, knowledge and service to you out there. Of course, Noah, we speak to people in different categories. We have the big boys, we have the small, the medium, and then the micro operators. We all have you at heart, and thank you for being part of the show. It's been the Business X-Ray. I would like to wish you a very good evening. Until next time, have a good evening once again, and God bless you.